it's Belinda. What is an ideal candidate in HR's eyes? So I'll repeat, what is an ideal candidate in HR eyes? So that's a good question because sometimes an ideal candidate for HR is not always an ideal candidate for the supervisor or the manager, whoever's hiring, because sometimes HR may not be looking for all of the details that maybe that maybe the manager or maybe the supervisor who's working that floor is looking for. But a good candidate that HR is looking for, someone who meets all the qualifications on their resume, someone who has the experience qualifications on their resume, someone who they can find their contact information readily, because a lot of times people contact information, for some reason, some of these new format of resumes, you have to search the pages to try to find their email address or their phone number, which is not ideal. You should not have to chase down look somebody's contact information, but with their contact information is readily at the interview. Someone who shows up on time meaning early, not on time, but early. Even if it is a Zoom or video interview, that you still show up early. On Zoom, you get notification when someone's waiting for you. They have already signed on and they're waiting for you to come on. So even for Zoom, you can sign on early. Someone who comes to the interview early, come to the interview early, dressed appropriately, bring a copy of your resume. I say that even if it's a virtual, have a copy of your resume in front of you, but who brings a copy of their resume and who is ready to go, and who can articulate their skills for the needs of the company. Because a lot of times people will come to the interview and then they can't articulate what they need to in order to win the interview. People need to remember, at the interview, you are a stranger. And it is your job to explain your skills. Your resume, people say, well, it's on my resume, but you need to talk more than just your resume. Yes, it's on your resume, but you can go in more detail. A resume is a snapshot. A resume doesn't say everything you did, every detail. They don't have stories behind it. It doesn't usually speak of your personality. So at the interview is when you want to talk about your skills, let your personality show, a professional personality show. Make sure that you are articulating that you can do the job and the experience that you've had or the education that you had to be able to do the job. So that is what an ideal candidate in HR eyes. That is an ideal candidate in HR eyes.